Hello, for Force Good. This is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, and today I want to talk about Mortal Kombat number 11. Yes, this game series has been out for 11, and I'll be honest with you, I played 1, 2, and 3, and then I took a big break from the Mortal Kombat series, except for the DC vs. Mortal Kombat. I know, don't pick, but it was a good game to play with my kid to get him into Mortal Kombat without quite as much violence and things, and it has the DC heroes. I know it's been beat on a lot, but anyway, Mortal Kombat X was a great one in the series from everything I've seen. I've only played it for a few seconds. I never actually bought it or own it. And it sold really well. And now NetherRealms is going out with number 11. And so far, it looks like it's doing really well in spite of going woke. You know, usually going woke means going broke. But I think this game is going to be, I will say, I think it's going to be quite successful. In spite of that, nothing's perfect. So I would say it would be a flawed victory. Well, if you look at it too, from what I've seen and done in the research of it, it has a good cast of characters. A lot of the fan favorites and ones that are interesting. It's built on that rock solid foundation that Mortal Kombat has had for a long time. And I think this game provides a good amount of content for your money. Though granted, I don't usually go out and buy brand new games. So you're going to have different styles to play in. You got your story mode. You got your tier modes, your tower modes, which are, a little bit similar to what we had before. But let's talk about some other things too on this that tends to make it look impressive. And one of the changes here is what it looks like is the mechanics. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video. I'm not a big fan of, every character I have to memorize a zillion new moves. I just don't have time in the day for all that. So I'm never going to be like an elite player. So just for the record, don't tell me, I suck, get good. I know that. Okay, I can get pretty good at those games, at fight games, if I'm really interested, but most of the time I use fight games for in-between games. And what I mean by that is I'll play something like, an 8-hour, 12-hour, 15, 20-hour game or something. Like I'll play Borderlands 2, and I'll beat that, and I don't want to jump into another epic long game, so I might play a fight game or a sport game in between for a couple weeks, and then I'll pick up the next big one to do. So, things like that. I use them as fill-ins. So the last fill-in I did was Dead or Alive 5, and I beat that with every character, I think, now, but not on the hardest level. I beat Marvel versus Capcom, I think it was 3, not the newest one, and I beat it with almost every character. I beat Mortal Kombat DC versus Mortal Kombat there with every single character. So I like to pick it up and play it without having to memorize every single move for every character. So when I pick it up in between games, I'll play with a different character anyway. And what's interesting here is the fight style. It's a little bit different. I think they tweaked it. It has remember we had the special meter, but now you'll have a defense and an offensive special meter, which I think that's interesting too. It just seems a little bit more easy for a noob or somebody beginning to pick it up and still do good without completely getting annihilated. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong there. Another thing that Mortal Kombat 11 has is tutorials, again, too, with everything teaching you from basic attacks to more advanced lessons, which I think is good, once again, for somebody that doesn't play them long. So, for example, after playing a different game, I hop back into a fight game, I have to relearn some of the things. The tutorial mode is a real help with that. On top of just general tutorials, there's character-specific tutorials as well, which I think is really good because, once again, each character has a little bit different moves. But one of the things I like about it is how the moveset supposedly is different. We're not going to be doing those half circles, this and that. They sort of bare-bonesed it, broke it down a little bit, and I think it's going to be much more manageable that way for people that are more casual gamers. Now, but yet still leave the level of complexity for the more advanced gamers to be able to learn to master. So that's one of the things I think a good game is: easy to pick up, hard to master. And I think that's what we're going to get here. And as I was saying, you get more types of story modes to elongate the game too. You get not story modes, but you get a story mode, as well as you get the classic towers, which takes me back to playing on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo with the very first game. So you have a more straightforward single player mode where you fight a series of opponents too, and then you fight the big boss. So I think the big meat, the meat of it, if you will be the single player offering. And I've seen this in other reviews too with the Towers of Time. I think they're on the right track there. But then there's some other things too. So there's a lot of good here. But also let's talk about some of the problematic issues. one of the issues is these consumables, and you have to make sure you have the right ones, or they're not going to do you very good. They're going to power you up in certain fights, making you be able to do more damage or take less damage. But the problem is learning which ones to use, which isn't really a bad thing. But the problem, from what I've been watching and looking into, is it seems so complex. And here's, as I said, I'm getting to the negatives. Okay. And I've only, seen a little bit, as much as I could from the reviews and things like that. I'm pulling in the information, and I'm already scared of microtransactions. It looks like the game is not going to be balanced exactly well with all these kinds of things you can do with your characters. But is this going to be another pay to win? Because it looks like they're going to be opening it up all kinds of microtransactions. So instead of getting these earning these things to power up your character, looks like there's going to be a quick route to buy it. I'm never a fan of that. Maybe I'm old school that way, but I'm always the route of if you can earn it, you should earn it and not pay for it. I'm not a big fan of pay to win. Now, as I said with the balancing issues, I will say that NetherRealm has acknowledged the balancing issues so far, and with the Towers of Time, and they claim they're going to be fixing that with a patch. So hopefully that will happen. Now that I mentioned the consumable issue, let's mention even probably a bigger issue, which I've sort of mentioned already, and there is the way they handle customizable gear for each character. It's similar to what they did with Injustice 2 with each fighter. They have interchangeable pieces of equipment that you can level up, but the problem is, let's say you get something else that doesn't match with that, and you want to switch it to that. It costs you to do that, points that you've earned. So you can't just put and swap out pieces, mix and match. You have to earn these pieces, to level them up, and then if you're going to change them, you have to pay for that too, which just screams long grinds with that character. And I don't know how fun that would be if you're sitting there grinding and then you don't get the right piece anyway and you keep getting the wrong one. So let's say then you get a whole version that would be really powerful together. You have to pay to go and convert that too. It just makes it a little bit too cumbersome. It's not an RPG, people. It's a fight game. I know maybe it's, hey, get off my lawn kind of thing going there. But I just feel that grinding might be a little misplaced in this game. And lastly, I want to mention the go woke, go broke. As you can see in the characters and things, they're really starting to cater to a particular crowd. The crowd that tends to not usually buy games, but all they want to do is complain about that. We can see that in the outfits and things and the new characters, and with redone versions of the characters, and that's a little problematic. Now, granted, I realize if you want your cheesecake, go play Dead or Alive, right? Absolutely, I can understand that too, but why do we have to make these big changes for a select group? Evidently, it's not hurting the sales currently, or maybe it is, and it could be better, but that's, my take on that. I don't quite understand why they want to cater so much to a group that tends to not really buy the game in the first place. So overall, as I said, I think Mortal Kombat 11 is going to be successful. It's probably a good sequel that's going to make fans happy. I think NetherRealms is going to have a hit again, even though the going woke. It's a great gateway for other people to get into the fighting games, maybe that haven't in a long time, or sporadically like myself, as well as good for people that are very well skilled and looking to master something as well. The streamlined mechanics, I think, are going to keep people involved in it. The graphics look absolutely fantastic. The backgrounds are looking amazing. The character detail is good. The animation with them looks good. It's not choppy and everything. It looks like it's going to run well, so unless it bogs down our system and surprises us. And I don't really think it will. I think these systems will be able to handle it completely. So ultimately, I think they have a very strong game here. I would say flawed victory because it's not perfect. As I said, the negatives are the overall grinding, the point system, which looks like it's going to be a microtransaction nightmare, and we gotta please people. Let's tone it down for the SJWs that don't buy the game anyway. Which really grinds my gears a little bit because they're fine with heads getting ripped off and people's spines getting pulled out and arms ripped off and everything. That's perfectly fine, all the gratuitous violence, but you can't have a lady or a guy scantily clad in any way whatsoever, which, once again, really? Pick your hypocrisy, people. But ultimately, I think it's a game that people will enjoy, and I think it's going to be successful despite all the shortcomings. I don't think they whiffed on it. I think this could be a hit. But that's my opinion, not yours. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen with Mortal Kombat 11. Is it going to be a good game, or am I mistaking everything I've read and researched on it and it's going to be a turd? I would love to know your opinion. Also, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, hit that notifications bell. If you don't mind, help spread the word to help my channel continue to grow. Little Frugal and I and the rest of the family greatly appreciate it. Another thing you can do is go to our Patreon link down below. For as little as $1 a month, you can help the channel. Or if you don't like Patreon, we also have another link for Streamlabs. It's just a one-time click there. You can pick your donation amount, and we'll be happy for that too. We appreciate all the help we can get. And until next time, keep it frugal.